Welcome to Fun Health with your host, Dr. Tanya Gold, your happiness doctor. Dr. Gold is a medical doctor who specializes in natural medicine and has been in practice for over 23 years. She's also a registered yoga teacher, public speaker, and published author. Dr. Gold has transformed thousands of lives through her ability to make wellness fun using her behavioral associative conditioning method and new 20-second workouts. If it's fun, it'll get done. Dr. Gold believes you're not a diagnosis. Your health matters. Know you're not alone. Dr. Gold cares. Remember, you're a bright, shining light in this world. Keep shining.
Hey friends, I am Dr. Gold. I am so excited to welcome you to the Fun Health Podcast with my amazing guest today. I have Cassandra Hector, and she holds a B Bachelor in Science in Public Health Nutrition from London, Metropolitan University, yes, in the UK. She is Master Trainer certification in the Diabetic Prevention Program, and she's going to share more about her background, but she firmly believes that health is our birthright and that the body is designed for healing. I love that. So welcome, Cassandra.
Thank you, Dr. Gold. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be with your audience today. Thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. I feel honored and blessed. I just wanted to share how we actually met.
Yes.
It was about a month ago. I was doing a laughter yoga class at Metropolitan Ministry, which helps folks in need, families, children who are homeless, families that are homeless, and they are working to bring them, food, shelter, but also provide them, the parents especially, with jobs and a way back into finding a home and finding security, safety, and all that stuff. So just want to thank Cassandra because she works there, and she's just, maybe you can share what you do at that place. And we just got to talking after she was participating in the laughter yoga class for like 40 teenagers. So why don't you share what you do at the Metropolitan Ministry, and then we'd love to hear about your background too.
Yes, lovely. Thank you for the opportunity once again. Yes, I just recently actually started with Metropolitan Ministry. I work within the Wellness and Health Division. And my role essentially is when we have the residents registered to begin the pathway of getting on their feet, essentially. Part of their learning is learning how to self-care. And so essentially I work as a coach, a mentor, to help them frame up really how to upgrade things that they're doing already around their lifestyle. So that is, I like to refer to them as pillars of health. It's not my word. I didn't coin it, but essentially that's, how do I upgrade my sleep and physical activity and movement and nutrition and meditation and prayer. So those are the goals that I typically work with the families on.
Oh, wonderful. And definitely want to hear more about those. Can you just share your journey, how you got into this?
Yes. Well, I've always had a passion for wellness. At the age of 13, I was living in London at the time, and I was opportune to go and visit the Caribbean islands where my maternal grandmother lived. And as you can imagine, living in the concrete city of the UK, of London, I was surrounded by buildings and more buildings. Not aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but it's a city that I love. So in the 80s, my mother and I, that was my first trip outside of the United Kingdom. And hence we traveled to the island of St. Lucia, the birthplace of my mother, where I was just opened up to this completely different world of seeing fresh fruit growing and go into the beaches where the fishermen would come in with fresh fish and seeing mangoes growing on the tree. And so it was a completely different world to me. And so my grandmother at the time, she was kind of like the local doctor and would prepare concoctions for members of her community and her family who were dealing with, whether it was an upset stomach or a headache, should go to the garden and just pick these herbs and create this, we would call it bush tea. and that was their medicine. And so I believe it struck a curiosity in my mind, and I really believe that was kind of a seed to my desire and curiosity around health and wellness. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I honestly, my grandmother also was kind of a bush woman, and she was a naturalist. They had many different names for her, but she did the same type of thing. So I could relate to that. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. So what are some top 3 simple health hacks that anyone can incorporate into their daily routine?
Yeah, such an important question, Dr. Gold, because having, living here in the United States, I think things are over medicalized. And, what I've realized that health is not linear, is it? It's really about kind of paying attention how our own bodies communicate to us. And so, oftentimes when I arise in the morning, and I've learned to do this over time, is incorporating those lifestyle practices that I now coach around with at Metropolitan Ministries. So one of my, 3, let me talk about the top 3. 3 of my lifestyle strategies that I incorporate daily that has helped me tremendously. The first one is just getting up in the morning and just going on a 10-minute walk. So I get up, I have my glass of water with some lemon, and I just go on a 10, 15-minute walk. And essentially what that does, it allows me to get this beautiful Florida sunshine into my retina, into my eyes. And I've learned over the years that comprehensive sleep begins in the morning, right? Because that we know now that resets, or that sets your circadian rhythm to sleep well. And so just getting up in the morning, getting outside into this beautiful Florida sun is 2-part really. It's getting the sunshine into my eyes to set my sleep rhythm. And then the other one is to bathe my complexion in some vitamin D.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. That's beautiful. And I know you're touching on one of those pillars for sleep, which is so paramount and so paramount, where so many people, can lack and not get enough of sleep, or they're, working in their small cubicles or indoors most of the day and not getting the sunshine that they need as well.
Absolutely. So that's kind of one of my major health pillars. The second thing that I do is I set my mindset for the day, and I do that through practicing prayer. I'm a Christian, and I begin to confess some of the scriptures around who God says I am. And that helps me reframe my mindset, setting my mind not just on the agenda of the day, but reminding myself who Christ Jesus says I am. And that has been helpful, because I think the tendency is, stepping out into the world, into the cosmos, without reminding myself who God says I am and who I was created to be. The forces outside very quickly infiltrate us, doesn't it? And you just start believing all of these different things. I didn't get the report done at work, so now I'm, feeling some self-condemnation. So I find if I'm able to kind of set my thought pattern for the day through meditation and prayer, I'm leaving fortified. I'm leaving my house fortified, reminding myself of the promises of God and who he says that I am. And I'm accepted in the beloved. I'm whole, shalom, nothing broken or nothing missing. So that really helps me. And I go through a series of, rituals in terms of just feeding myself the truth of God's word. So, yeah, that's very important.
So I think we got all 3, right? The first one was the sleep, then it was the meditation
and prayer. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I love that. Thank you so much for those. And also, how do you stay motivated to maintain a healthy lifestyle, especially during challenging times. I know you're working and, this is the life that you lead. And you can remind me, I'm not sure about family situation. I know you're coming from London, if your family's here or you're solo or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, when I did move here back in 2010, I moved to America in 2010, as I mentioned, after a tumultuous marriage, a breakdown of my marriage. And it was essentially starting life over with my 2 young children at the time. So it was a very, very difficult and challenging time for me. It was important for me to find community, which I did through a local church. And that's kind of where I built my village and raised the children. And it was difficult because it was different environment, a whole different set of values in the States, because it's a culture of work, independence, you get yours because I've got mine. So it was very, very stressful for me. Once again, it was reminding myself, Dr. Gold, to take those moments throughout the day to remind myself of the promises of who God says I am, and that helped me tremendously. I fostered a sisterhood at the church and families and mentors for my son. And that really helped us tremendously in, navigating what was a difficult situation, but we were undergirded by a strong community. Yeah.
How did you get to the United States? What made you transition from?
Oh, right. It's funny because my mother, her sister was living here in the States, and her husband at the time was military. So he was based at MacDill Air Force Base. And Mummy came here on holiday back in the 80s and loved it. I think she liked the sunshine and just the way of life. It was very different. And just came back to England and made a decision. We're moving to America.
I see. I love it. Making a decision.
Yeah, that's how we ended up here.
I love it. Well, I would like to go back to the pillars of health that you were mentioning, and maybe you can take us, especially somebody who's just starting out with their health journey. And you mentioned some routines or regimens that you go through, but how do you lead somebody who's just starting out to implement those pillars of health? If you can touch upon that and then incorporate, some ways that people can start doing that.
Absolutely. What I've learned, Dr. Gold, over the years of working in the wellness sector is that change is very difficult for all of us. Sometimes even the smallest change is very difficult. So I'm learning to just focus, and I do this with some of the residents. I'm learning to help them focus on being aware of your thoughts. What are you thinking? What is your mindset? When you wake up in the morning, what are you thinking of? So part of that is helping people become conscious of their thoughts. Think about what you're thinking about, and not to lose that throughout the day, and allow the forces of the external world to make a decision about what you should think or what you should be, but just learning how to practice, and even if it's just coming up with your own script about who you believe that you are, and learning to love yourself through that process. So affirming yourself. So I allow the women that I work with to do that. Let's go through. Let's create a scenario and a belief system about yourself, positive things. One of the main things that I have them really focus on is gratitude. Yes, life may not be perfect, but what can you look at and be grateful for? Is it the smell of your coffee as you wake up in the morning and you have that coffee? Is it your children? Is it the fact that you have a warm, comfortable bed to sleep in? Is it the sunshine? We all can find something to be grateful for. So I think that's a good starting point in helping people understand or have a belief system rooted in gratitude. Yeah. So
Love
we
that.
typically
Thank you.
yeah.
Can you share a story, like a personal story that somebody you've worked with and they've taken these actions or suggestions to heart and
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Outside of where I currently work, just for the privacy of some of the residents that work there, I work with a group of women. We have a Monday night call. It's online, and just starting. I mean, all of them really. They were not aware of what they were thinking. And so we had a practice over a week. I just said to them, I just want you to capture your thoughts. Just become aware of what you're thinking. And so they came back the following week and wrote down some horrific things. I woke up in the morning and I was thinking about X, Y, and Z. And as a result of having those thoughts, it drove how they felt in their body. It takes on, it plays out in our emotions, So, we know that you become your thoughts, right? And your thoughts determine your personality, and your personality determines your behavior, and your behavior is the story of your life. It becomes your destiny. So that is a small example of just allowing the women that I work with, capture that first. Let's start there. And once they become aware of their thoughts, I help them implement these new ideas of their belief system of who you are, starting with gratitude. And we just start that small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anybody, you don't have to name names, of course, and where it's coming from, but was there anyone in particular that she said, well, I started doing this, and this is how my life started, in a positive light, how it ended up?
Yes. I have a champion of the group, and I won't mention the name, but what a success story. We started off at that place, and she is absolutely doing some amazing things. She was like the forerunner of the class.
What did she do?
She started off there with just her gratitude practices. She moved into changing her diet for herself and her husband. She incorporated, a wellness regimen in terms of movement. She started tracking her biometrics, so we shared all of these different things on the platform. And her life just changed. I mean, within a short time. And I still, I keep in contact with her. She's no longer a part of the group, but she's been tremendously successful just with these little incremental micro movements and just being committed to the group and just sharing her wins. We just supported her. Yeah.
Yay. I love that. So what we usually do during this podcast too is we have people stand up, because we know a lot of people may be sitting for most of their day. Now, if they're driving their car, we do not want you to try to stand up in the car, but just to do the exercises we're about to do, some deep breathing, some laughing and smiling. But if you're watching this and you're able to stand up, please do. Let's take a little podcast break for a moment to shake out the body, and let's roll those shoulders. So if you're sitting, if you want to stand up, you can do that and just roll the shoulders. If you're able to raise those arms overhead in a nice big stretch, ha ha ha. Let's bring a nice ha ha ha. A nice ha ha. Knowing that we can bring in cheer, to laugh, to smile, to bring in happiness and joy, and let go of the fear. Bring in your life. We know with happiness and laughter, we can fake it till we make it, but we can laugh to feel happy. We can smile to be happy too. So nice big smile here. Inhale. Nice gentle twist. So just gently moving to one side, turning. Again, if you're driving head facing, you may just want to take some nice deep breaths, and then all the way over to the other side. Oh, feels so good. And then again, just roll the shoulders back. Just gently turn the chin to one shoulder and then the other shoulder. Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice stretch. And again, we probably did this for about 10, 20 seconds, but the nice part is those sprinkling in of movement gets your body to acclimate. And the more you do it, the more your body gets used to doing it. So remember, progress is progress. It's always best to move rather than not move. So that 20-20 rule, every 20 minutes, get up and stretch for about 20 seconds or more. move your eyes. You can start right now if you're able to, just gently looking up, again with a smile. Look down, and then look to your right, and then to your left. Good. It's just a nice way to brighten those eyes. It can help reduce eye strain, especially if it's away from the computer. So if you tend to be at a computer screen, it's nice to just take a break, unplug, or if you are watching this podcast, headphones, and then you can still listen, but we're just taking a break with our eyes to stretch them out, so which is always good. First, I did have some more questions, but we're going to wrap up in just a moment. But again, thank you so much, Cassandra. We're just tuning in right now. We have Cassandra Hector. She is an amazing woman that works at Metropolitan Ministry. She's like a health coach and nutritional coach. She has many different degrees in, like her bachelor in science in health nutrition, but it's all about helping and motivating her clients, which at Metropolitan Ministry, they may be homeless, including children, and she's helping them to find hope, but also a home, shelter, good nutrition into their bodies so they can be fruitful, so they can have good vitality and energy to live an amazing life as well. So thank you for your service and our community in Tampa too. Appreciate that. So I appreciate that. So I was thinking, for practical advice, what's a common health misconception you encounter, and what's the truth behind it?
I think a common health misconception that I see with the ladies that I work with is that health is outside of you, and giving away your power, and I know you're a physician, Dr. Gold.
No, it's good.
Giving away your power to a clinician, and not allowing yourself to be conscious of how your body communicates to you. And that could look like, am I tired? What are the thirst sensations? Am I thirsty? Am I hydrated properly? Do I know my numbers in terms of my blood pressure, my blood glucose? What are my readings about some of those simple things that can help leverage our health? So I think if you have this data and you become familiar with how this drives health outcomes, I think, just having that awareness and being engaged with it with your doctor, and not leaving the full responsibility of your health and your health outcomes with the physicians, because there are simple things that we can do in our home to upgrade our health. And we know this now through lifestyle medicine. And just sharing that narrative with my community to help them win, to empower them. Yes.
Yeah. And I honestly love what you just said about, taking back your power. Because honestly, with my patients, I 100% tell them, or speak to them like as a family member, and say, this is a collaborative, this is human interaction, not a transaction. And the idea is that we're on the same team. So my goal is to help you the best that I can do, but I need your input as well. And it's not going to work if I don't know what's going on. So we need to share the information. We need to listen to each other. We also need to work with each other, because I may suggest something that's not going to work for them. And I want them on board. I want them to know their numbers. So exactly like you said, I 100% agree. And I love that. I think empowering and making people consciously aware that they do have the power, that the body does have the ability to heal is so key. Thank you for, it's important to stress that too. And have the patients, if they're seeing, have the patients ask questions. I think that is so important. So if they ever tell me they're seeing a doctor and, if they got something from the internet and the doctor just literally throws in the trash, of course, educate, because sometimes people do get some things from sites that are, not the most reputable, or there's not real merit, but we still have that discussion. And if they're getting something off the internet and they're like, well, it says I should be taking this, well, do you actually need it? Let's actually do functional medicine testing to see what your body needs, rather than just guessing. So we can do objective data. But thank you for,
Yeah,
for
love that.
they, giving them their power back.
Yes, that's lovely.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, this is my last question for you. And if there's anything else you'd like to add, please let me know, especially for those that are just, getting started, or if they have been healthy for a while. What are some tools or resources you personally recommend? And I know you touched upon them as well to stay healthy. And then if you can also, again, going through the pillars of health, one simple hack for each of those pillars of health for, somebody just getting started, especially if they're busy moms or this time is not on their side. Because I know 10 minutes, I think sometimes for some people, like, where am I going to find 10 minutes? But, I think 10 minutes people can find. But if it's going to an hour, 2 hours, it can seem sometimes overwhelming.
Yes. I think, making ourselves a priority in the demands of life here in America, because there are a lot of demands. However, if within a 24-hour clock we can't find some time to self-care, then we're too busy. We're too busy.
Yeah.
And so, it's different for each person, but finding that time to self-care, because if you don't self-care, you don't have your health. And if you don't have your health, you don't have your life. So finding some time within your day to self-care is imperative. And I just believe, start where you are, So if it means I have a rebounder I keep a rebounder here, and that's part of my routine. Is if I'm working from home, I get to jump for 10 minutes and just to heighten those happy hormones. And it's an amazing way of it has a great impact in how I move my body. It takes the pain out of my body if I've been sitting too long. It's a tremendous exercise, and lots of good studies around rebounding. So that's one thing. Set your environment up for your success. The other thing that I encourage is having a fruit bowl on the table. We're in the summer in Florida, we've got some amazing fruits that you can have a fruit bowl on the table, make it accessible for you to have a fruit during the day. Have, on the counter, some lemon water. In the evenings, prepare for sleep, start dimming the lights, playing some soft music, create an environment that the body is ready to go and rest. Don't have a computer in your room, leave electronic devices outside. And then I have in my room, every day I write scriptures and I put it on my mirror and in my bathroom. So it's accessible so I can see it. And one of the other things that I'd like to add is just start off with one green salad a day. If you can't have a colorful plate and you can't have the spectrum of all of those colors, start off with just, a plain arugula salad with your favorite dressing and start there. Make it easy. Start where you are in your environment. Set yourself up for success within your home. Yeah.
Powerful. That is, I love it. I love it. And I'm a big rebounder as well. I just like.
Why you?
Yeah, those lymphatics are just loving, the immune system, getting rid of excess fluid. It just feels good and it's playful too. It's fun. So even if you don't have a rebounder, you just bounce. But nowadays they have ones, if you're concerned with your balance, you can hold on. So they have a little bar for that, which is really nice. And I love it too. My cats want me to feed them and I'm like, hold on, let me just get just a moment. I do it while I'm brushing my teeth. So it's like no extra time. You do it for a few minutes, but it feels so good. So good for you. I love it. And I did want to add to time, because one thing, I don't know if you do this as well with your clients, but I have folks do a time diary. And I've done it with myself personally, because sometimes we don't know where the time goes. People say time flies, but sometimes you're at a red light and you're like, it seems like it's forever. So we know we can play with time a little bit and just actually paying attention. Studies show many people will watch TV or be on their computer, just checking spam or things that are not essential for work. And they can spend a lot of time doing some games, which is okay. Of course you want to, but it could be hours, and that could be the time where they may be doing that. And exercising or something, because I've had some folks say, well, I'll play my games while I'm, on the treadmill or, stepper or just the rebounder, but maybe doubling or watching my cutesy movie or whatever it is. So sometimes you can combine things. So again,
I like that. That's a good idea, Dr. Gold. Yeah, the layering. Yes.
And be playful, have fun, and laugh.
I'll pocket that one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I again just want to thank you, Cassandra. This has literally been an honor to speak with you and learn from you. And you're just an amazing woman. I definitely love your smile and your essence, because it's just very uplifting. And I feel very honored. So was there anything else you wanted to just share or wrap up with, or any final,
No, I just want to say thank you so much. It was such a pleasure meeting you and learning what you do in the community and your service to your community. I truly appreciate it. After you left, there were lots of laughs in the office, and we extended our invite to the invite. Hopefully you'll come again to our other colleagues. Like, you missed out. You should come. Yeah. So it made for a better day as you left, and we just laughed.
Also, if folks want to get a hold of you or find you, is there a way to get in touch with you? Are you on social media?
Yes, I'm on social media. They can find me at Food Becomes You. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, and you can share my number. I can share.
Okay, yeah, and we'll put the link if you want to send me that. Also, if you can just let us know, we would love for you to leave comments and questions, anything, feedback on this. If you can share this with your friends and family, and anything that you can help us to grow, like more things you want to learn. So you now have a way to get in touch with Cassandra. Please let me know how you got in touch with this, and anything that I can be of service for you. I just want you to know. Thank you for joining us on the Fun Health Podcast.
So much. Yes, so much. Bless you. Shalom.
Yeah, shalom.
Yeah, shalom.
Thank you so much for listening to the Fun Health Podcast with your host, Dr. Tanya Gold, your happiness doctor. Stay tuned for more uplifting and inspiring episodes to live your best life. Make it fun so it'll get done. You're so much more than a diagnosis. Remember, you're not alone, and your life and your health matters.